Hey, I am in such a good mood today. Anybody else out there in a good mood? I sure hope so. It's a little bit different from the videos that I have been posting in the last few weeks around my healing journey. And I feel good about that. You know, a lot of those videos, if you haven't seen them, go ahead and check those out on my YouTube channel. But a lot of those were really heavy, open, raw emotions. And I am thankful that it resonated with so many of you. I sometimes question why I'm sharing so much. I just can't question it. It's because I just need to listen to my heart and my body, and that's it. And whatever comes from it comes from it. And what has come from it is that a lot of you have reached out and said that you relate and you connected with the experiences that I have been experiencing. And that means so much to me. Some of you have said that I've got this. Some of you all of you have been very encouraging. Some of you have said that it sounded like you 4 years ago, for example. And you're giving me hope and inspiration to continue on this healing journey. So I want to thank you for that. So I'm in a very good mood today, and I appreciate that. The other reason I'm in a great mood today is because of something that I haven't really shared in the past videos, but it does have to do with my healing journey. And when I started this path, I talked about wanting to address certain things. What does success look like? And those things were addressing my childhood trauma, addressing my midlife crisis issues. And I've been doing that with my therapist and also in nature, as you have seen. The other thing I wanted to address that I'm still doing with my therapist, but also another area of my work that I've done, my inner work on myself, is finding my identity, both my personal identity and how that could translate to my professional identity. As you know, that I've lost my sort of professional career path about a year and a half ago, and I've been on the path to healing. But in that, I still want to find my identity, which is part of this whole big mess. But I'm starting to tease out certain things, and progress is being made. And the thing that I wanted to share with you is about that personal identity. I talked in a previous video about what is nature therapy. I found this question and answer group, and this group that, I found this group that was doing training on becoming a nature therapy and forest bathing guide. Talked a little bit about that. And I went into a question and answer session where I met a bunch of people, very like-minded people, where nature was very personal to them, and they hope to engage with nature in more deep and meaningful ways. And just as an aside, one of you in the comments mentioned that I'm going through a spiritual awakening. And I had to look that up because I don't consider myself such a spiritual person, even though maybe I'm investigating and exploring that a little bit, but a spiritual awakening. And I had to look that up. And some of the elements of a spiritual awakening is having a deeper call to nature, or a deeper pull to natural things, being out in the environment, or needing a higher purpose, or seeking out more authenticity. So all of those things really align with a spiritual awakening. And I have said to myself in times of introspection that I think that there's something awakening in me. So I really want to thank you guys and that person for engaging me to really investigate some of these things that are happening for me and to me. There's an airplane. I'm just going to pause for a second. It's a beautiful day today. I hope you should all be so lucky as to have some green space in your area, whether it's in your home next to a plant or in your backyard, or maybe you have some protected green space areas. Um, that's wonderful. Everyone should be so lucky. Um, okay, back to the identity thing. So I found this group and I had been experimenting or exploring nature therapy and becoming a guide. I did join the class. And what I wanted from the experience is, first of all, to help myself. Would this nature therapy help me? And I wanted to make sure that would happen before I even thought about extending it to some sort of business. I thought maybe there's an idea there, but I wanted to validate it first for myself. And having been in the program for the last 4.5 months now, I can confidently say that nature therapy has helped me in this process. I mean, you guys know that I love being in the outdoors, and I have paired my psychology sessions and exercises with nature therapy so far. And I have to say, and I can say with confidence, that what I've been learning as a nature therapy guide, becoming a nature therapy guide in this class, has helped me. And that was first and foremost for me. Um, and I also, to the point of my personal identity, I think that I have been the most happiest, even though I'm very, very sad in a strange way. This is a place where I feel like I belong. And to be a nature therapy guide as part of my identity would be an honor, based on what I've learned, based on my experiences so far. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about what I've been learning, because it brings me such joy. And you guys are there with the downs, but I also want to bring you along for the upsides. So in the 4.5 months that I've been in the program, I've learned a lot of things. We've met once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on what we needed to talk about. And it's based, I'll put a link below into the program, but it's based in the US. So my trainings have been from 1 to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning over the past 4.5 months. And it's, like I said, it's once a week, so it's not so bad. It's worth it to me. And I missed one, I think, because I accidentally overslept. Another plane is coming. Let me pause for a second. All right, so the things that I wanted to share with you, yes, my personal identity. I'm so excited because there were about 35 people that signed up for the course, and you go through this journey with them, and it gets very personal, and everyone is so willing to share and so willing to open up their heart, and that's something that I really feel like I needed. I was imbalanced in that sense, where I just needed to be able to access my heart sense, and I needed to access that with other people and like-minded people in a safe place. And they were a safe place for me. I could tell them that I was talking to rocks. I could tell them that I felt so secure and at home amongst the trees. It's a weird thing, but so I found sort of my people, and that's very exciting to me. The other thing is that I've been learning so much about what nature therapy and forest therapy is. It's not just going out in the woods. It's not just a walk in the woods. It's very structured. And to be a guide would be a great honor. So what is forest therapy? I'm not going to go deep into the details of what everything is. I just want to cover the main topics of what I've been learning. So what is forest therapy? What is nature therapy? It's based on this old practice in the 1980s called Shinrin-yoku. I'll say more about that in another video. But I also learned about what a guide is. It's something called the way of the guide that we learned, which includes what our scope of practice is and what are the standards that we hold ourselves to as guides. We learned about how to structure a session, whether they be 1 hour, 2 hours, or half-day sessions. So I learned a lot about that. There is an established protocol for this this area. I don't even want to call it an industry. It's just a new and up and coming, very exciting. We learned about how to write something called an invitation, which is part of the structuring of a session. Very cool, because that's where I get to be creative to the people that I'm specifically serving. So if I do make this into a business, which I'm hoping and I'm trying to do, if I do am successful and you book a session with me, for example, you would have something tailored to your experience, and that's what I bring in writing these invitations as a guide. We also learned about edges. So the participants, as a guide, we need to be aware of particular edges, meaning what is the edge of individuals' comfort zone. Some people are not even comfortable being in nature, and that's totally understandable and fine. If you haven't grown up with it, if it's not a sense that is in you, if you're more of a city person, that's totally fine and fully understand. But we as guides are trained to be aware of what particular edges might be in the presence of our group or our individual if it's a one-on-one session. So that was very interesting to me. Another element to a nature therapy session is sharing, bearing witness to other people's experiences. And I think that that part was very touching for me, because other people were willing to bear witness to my journey. And that makes it real. There's a book that I'm reading right now called The Art of Gathering, and it talks about the importance of bearing witness, and how it's in our nature to share stories. And I love that, and I'm learning so much through these different books and resources. That part of it was the theory, and that was all very fascinating to me. And of course, it's science based, which was important to me also. The science of green spaces, the science of nature. There's been a lot of books written on how we innately connect with nature, but also we innately need nature to be healthy and well. So that's the science, the philosophy that I learned in the last 4.5 months. The other thing I'm very excited to share with you is that there's a practical part of it as well. So practicing being a guide, and what are the logistics around being a guide, and what are the things that we need to be aware of. So some of the things that I've been working on to potentially become a guide is to assess and recognize the land in the space. So, of course, nature therapy doesn't always have to be outdoors, but if there's an element to my business that I want to be outdoors, which I do because I think it serves a lot of us to be in the forest or by the beach or just outside in our backyard. I think it serves a lot of us to spend some time doing these practices in nature, and it is an intentional wellness practice. So all very exciting things. Um, so part of my responsibility as a guide to assess the land, make sure it's safe. I reach out to the land managers of the area to make sure it's okay to practice this nature therapy or forest bathing in that space. And so I'm working on that with my local land managers. And the other part of the practice of learning how to be a guide is actually taking people on walks. And this is where I really light up, because I've been able to do practice walks with people, friends, acquaintances, hopefully colleagues down the road. I've done 6 walks, and I think that entails 9 or 10 different people. I did a couple of individual walks because I wanted to I did a couple of individual walks. I have to thank these people because they were basically my guinea pigs. They're structured 2-hour sessions, and I'll talk more about what that sequence looks like in the sessions in another video. But I just want to talk about, the practice of it and how I feel about it. So I took some people on walks, and the experience was so wonderful. And the feedback was amazing. It's basically keep going. Would you do it again? Yes. Is there anything that I can change? Maybe a few things here or there. If it was cold out, maybe bring some hand warmers for your participants, just little things like that. But I really feel like giving these 6 walks in this practical part of the training, I am finding that my personal identity is could potentially align with my professional identity in that I could bring this service to people as a guide, and I'm taking this very seriously, and I really love it. um, I've debriefed the whole group, my training group, on 2 of my walks. It's part of the practicum, and other people have done the same, and it's so very interesting and heartwarming and uplifting. The stories that they tell, we're not perfect at the moment, and we won't be, and we won't ever be. It's a journey for us, but sincerely, I love it, and I can't believe I'm going to cry again because this is a happy moment. And these are happy kind of emotions. And I wanted to share that together with you guys who have been through all of the more difficult things with me too. So that is what I've been doing the 4.5 months with respect to working on my personal and professional identity. The walks have been amazing, and I can't wait to do more. I want to do more training walks here coming up. If you're interested, I do online, so I want to maybe in the future, as my business, provide this as an online service as well, where you can just be on a phone call with me and a few other people. You can do this from the comfort of your home. If you're interested in doing a training online session with me, it's not going to be perfect, but I'd love to do that with you. Maybe set aside 2 hours of your day to sit with me, and I'll take you and guide you through a nature therapy session. If you're interested, just reach out to me, DM me, leave me a message. And I would love to practice that part of it, because all of my walks right now have just been in person, which has been amazing. And I still have more practicing to do there. But I would also like to share this experience across geographies to the people who really need it. I don't want this to be something, I want to share this experience with as many people as possible. As you can see, that I'm very excited about it. And I want to share this experience as many people as possible. I have a friend that I took on a walk, and she was anticipating her major surgery coming up. And she knew that she was going to be in recovery for many, many months. And that meant that she would be bedridden for a little while. And that meant that she would be very, very in recovery for quite a while. And I took her on that walk, and she thought about how what her experience is going to be in recovery. And I just offered her that we could do nature therapy from her hospital bed, from her home bed. You don't have to be, I want to make this accessible. You don't have to be a marathon runner. You don't have to be a hiker. You don't even have to love being outside with other people. And the accessibility part for me, as I build out my business plan and as I build out my service level agreements, to me, accessibility is very important. And people that can't go outside should not have access to nature therapy and forest bathing. So it's a long video, but thanks for sticking around, and more to come on this topic. And I just wanted to share that it's been going great, and I think I found my identity, and I'm very happy.